Hey guys, welcome to we're doing another episode of Money Mondays. I'm your host, Kalisha Carter, and my lovely co-host,
Betzy. Hey guys, we're excited to do another interview. We've had so many people here watching and with us talking about breaking it down to like their business and how they raise money. And hey,
just
if you
different
guys,
strategies.
yeah, different strategies. If you guys have any ideas that you guys have, or say, hey, like I want you guys to talk to this person, or this person's doing awesome things, like, hey, let us know.
Let us know. Send us, reach out to us to Facebook, Instagram, and
Write a comment.
the episode that we did was Abraham. That got a lot of feedback. So that's been pretty good, and I thought people are watching. Shout out to all our subscribers. They're like, what now, Betzy? 160,
170.
170. Damn, that was quick. But thank you guys for the support. We really appreciate it. But before we even go further, this podcast is really about to all our new listeners, watchers. It's really about raising private capital, whether it's for real estate, for your business, and just hearing how other investors are doing it as well.
Yeah.
Just to let you guys know, because Betsy will get on me for this. And
Yes, the disclaimer. The information that we talk about here is just for educational purposes. Do your own diligence. We do not provide financial, legal, or professional advice. Everything we say is from our experiences, what we have dealt with. We always recommend you guys talk to your attorney, talk to your CPAs. Yeah, your custodian. They're amazing people, and we even have references. If you need someone, let us know.
let us know. So before we go into more deep dive, we have a special guest. Even but she's so excited. This person is a part of the Sub 2 community. He's an agent. He's a real estate investor. He's good at structuring creative deals. Let's welcome Drew. What is going
Yay.
on?
Do the applause.
What's
Right,
up, guys?
not bad. Are you
Happy
excited?
to be here.
Kalisha has the applause, she just doesn't use it.
No,
Oh,
it's like all these fancy stuff on the soundboard. And I'm like, let's see, I can't. I'm gonna be so distracted if I should use that thing. But
it's cool. I'm not cool enough for one of the sound effects. All right.
I should find
I
one.
understand. It's all good.
No, but for
So,
persons who don't know, like, tell us who is Sub to Drew.
Sub 2 Drew is me. There is another one. We talked about that a little bit ago. He's cool. We're cool people. But some people will say there's only one and only Sub 2 Drew. But no, that's my guy. But no, I'm just real estate investor, guy who makes it happen. You mentioned, I'm an agent too, but actually, the way I say it is, I started off as a fix and flipper. So the way I refer to it is, I'm also licensed, right? I'm an investor, but I'm also licensed. I don't really lead with the agent stuff first, and I don't do much in production as an agent. So I just keep the license because sometimes, it comes in handy. That's all.
That makes sense.
But that's me.
So it's
Oh, closer. I'm also a closer too, so I make deals happen.
okay.
So
I was just about to say, like, explain for to persons who don't know what a closer is, but you just did, so that's perfect. The
yeah,
what when Betsy and I we raised capital for the persons, and Drew sent us this deal, and it was so detailed.
Oh yeah, Kalisha, you guys. Kalisha has a thing for like all the details and all the information. And when she saw Drew's info packet, he was like, I don't want to work with anybody else.
Like,
She's like,
so
I
that
want
hey,
is
I'm cool with that. Let's go.
like all the it's rare to find like persons who send us, hey, want you to raise capital for us. And then there's always something missing. And it's like you're running someone down, but like, hey, can you give us this info or that info?
But Drew doesn't even give you all the information. He goes above and beyond that. Like if what was at the end? I can't remember at this moment.
Like simple Q&A, like question, what's the story? Yes, what's it's like a summary of everything that he presented in his details. So I'm like, bingo.
Well,
That's
appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, she was just like, I just, yep, we're just gonna start doing deals with Drew. That's it.
Hey, I'm ready because I got them coming. So as long as you guys can get them funded, let's do it.
so, which leads us to talk about a deal breakdown. Like, because of this, I think a lot of crucial new investors, even experienced, miss out these crucial info.
Yeah.
When it comes on to your deals, like what are some things that you think investors need to include when presenting these uh, opportunities to investors or to anyone in particular?
Like some of the details, like what they should include.
Yeah,
So first of all, I appreciate you guys, and the nice comments and saying good things. Um, it's like it's difficult, as an operator, if you're looking for something, you put something out there, and then you're getting a million questions back. Just like it's difficult for you guys to do your job if you don't have all the information, at your fingertips, and going back and forth playing telephone games is annoying. Nobody has time for that. So do a little bit of work up front. The whole theory is do a little bit of work up front. Make it easier on you guys. Make it easier on the person you guys are pitching the the deal to, so they can make a quick decision, or at least it doesn't have to be a decision to do the deal, but at least a decision to look further into it or invest more time into it. And I feel like that's what a lot of people miss, and it's probably because
lazy.
I know, like, you guys are dealing with people who are buying, right? You're dealing with operators who need funding. So
Yeah,
this also happens when I deal with people who bring wholesalers who bring a deal for me to make a decision on. So I understand how it feels for the person who has to make the decision, has to put their time, invest their time into checking these numbers and seeing if it looks good.
yeah,
There's a big disconnect in there, and it kind of gets annoying because you know, a lot of wholesalers, I mean, that's like the entry level position. Now, there's some great ones out there, right? That are killing it, right? But just like there's great agents, right? But a majority of the people, over 80%, probably 90%, are not that great because they don't do the extra work, right? They didn't do the homework. They saw it as a get rich quick type of game,
they're
and
just
then
lazy.
just exactly, exactly. And it's all out there. Like the information, the homework, everything. If you want to get paid 10, $15,000 on a wholesale fee, if you're gonna wholesale something, put the information there so someone can make an easy decision, instead of, and this happens, like I said, on the agent side too, instead of saying, oh, great investment opportunity, prove it. How is it a great investment opportunity? Most of the time it's not.
It's
And
not.
that's the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean they already did all the work. All I have to do is put it in one location, everything that all the work that they've done, put it all in one page and just have it easy. Because we've also seen that when people are trying to close deals, if they're missing information, when we're trying to close a property, it has a due date. It has a time where it's
Yeah.
going to be done. And you
Yeah.
don't want it to take longer.
Yeah.
But they're just
100%.
I'm sorry, there a lot of persons are lazy to just find the info. And know you get like really excited because you want to get a deal done, you want to get funding for it. So you're like, oh, let me just throw it out there. But it just takes some time
Yeah.
to put it all together. That's
And I
it.
think too, lazy is one word, but it might go over people's heads because the wholesalers, they're out there working, right? The operators who want to get the deal funded, they're out there working too, right?
Mhm.
But so maybe they won't resonate with lazy. Maybe that's why they don't change. The thing is, you just got to be more thorough. If
Yeah.
you want it to happen, again, you got to make it easier for someone else. Another aspect is maybe they just don't know. Like, most wholesalers are not buyers at all, right? But they have to put a facade on like they're a buyer in order to get people to take them seriously. The way I learned wholesaling, so I started back in 2014, right? So I did my little research 2013, like the last quarter, and then 2014 is when I took action and had some great success in the beginning, right? Um, or right out the bat, I should say. So I learned the people that I was learning wholesale from. Jerry Norton had a program with one of his old partner, Peter Conti, I think his name was.
Mhm.
He had a program, like super ancient program, And I was watching it, and what they taught was you want to know what your customer wants, right? So you have to understand, if you want to be a good wholesaler, you got to understand how to flip. So I was like, all right, I don't know anything about his business, so I just listened, and I learned how to flip through his program, right? Learning how to flip, do all this, the numbers, the formulas, all that stuff. So I ran everything to the T. That's how I know if a deal, or my first deal especially, that's how I knew it was a deal, or at least believed it was a deal, because I did everything they said. So, and I believed what they were saying, but nobody bought that deal, right? Because for whatever reason. So instead of letting it go, I just took the deal down myself, right? And that's what started me as a fix and flipper. So if you know how to buy, I basically say all that to say, if you know how to buy, or you know what, if you take the time to study what the buyers are looking for, and I'm not talking about just calling them and saying, hey, what's your buy box? You still don't understand it, right? You're not the one, as the wholesaler, or the person who's trying to pitch the deal. You're not the one putting all that money into it. You
Yeah.
know, you don't have to take that risk. It's easy to say, "Oh, this is a great investment. Oh, this area is beautiful." You can tell somebody don't know what the hell they're talking about when they start talking about how beautiful the place is. Who
Or
cares?
it's a great
What
deal.
kind of money? Yeah, it's a great deal. It's beautiful. Oh, we got this, and that going. Nobody cares. What are the numbers? The important numbers to help you make a decision,
Mhm.
right? And then another mistake people will make is like, and these are just my opinions, right? And another mistake I think people make is pick one, right? First of all, you got this ARV from a 50K plus range. Like, all right, you obviously didn't do a real, analysis of it. And then also you have, you don't do repair costs, you know, geez, okay, that helps, right? And then what's the other one they do? They'll, uh, shit, I lost my train of thought, but it's just missing that info. Like they'll say pad split, right? Or they'll say some type of exit strategy, or Airbnb, but never bothered to go run projected Airbnb numbers.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like,
That is key because you mentioned the repairs, closing costs is one as well. Like if they can run the
closing
base,
costs.
yeah,
Yeah,
just find out, as you said, find out from the buyers, like how are you guys analyzing your numbers? If you know that basics, then you can bring the right deal to that buyer. You know exactly what they're looking for.
yeah,
Mhm.
100%. Yeah,
But
but yeah,
oh,
yeah.
no, you can go. You're good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, just that, like, the further, to add to that, it's just simple as that. So, like, to bring it back to like what this is all about, which is raising money for private capital. If I can, it's one of those things, right? Some people get caught up trying to do everything, right? Yeah, I could probably go raise private capital. Sometimes I do. I have some people who already see some of the success I'm having, and they want to lend money. But the thing is, if I want to do this game at volume, why not hit you guys up and let you guys do what you're great at and what you guys are focusing at, so I can go out and get more deals and establish a steady pipeline, right? Pass it off to you with good information. You get the deal funded. I don't got to make everything on the deal. I just I make a little bit on every opportunity. That's all I need.
Yeah. And then once you have all the info, we have the info, it makes it so much easier for that lender to be like, I want to do this, I don't want to do this. Because
Yeah, I think you created his pitch deck in a few hours. Like for Drew, yours was done in a few hours. Usually it might take us 2 or 3 days because we have to make sure we get all
Damn.
the information.
yeah,
And yours was done in, like, literally, she's like, look, I have it done. Like, it's ready, send it out.
it was easy. But you mentioned as well, like buyers finding, not buyers, wholesalers getting information for buyers. Uh, how do, let's say they want to get a creative deal, where do they find that information before they even bring it to a buyer?
um, so where do they find the information for the exit, or
For like, let's say it could be a potential sub two or seller finance. How do they know like the PITI or what the seller wants? Like how can they get all that info?
oh, that's perfect. You got to ask the seller. All everything you need comes from the seller.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of people want to force their will on the seller, but it's not about that. If you understand the different exit strategies, and you take the time to understand what the seller wants, then you can easily help the seller understand what you want and you need out of it. It's an easy conversation. Instead, what you get is a lot of time people hit me up. I need help structuring this deal. I need to submit an offer, on the deal, but they don't have any information, especially the ones who are talking to agents, right? Um, they don't have any information. They're letting these agents give them this BS, urgency prompts. Oh, we got another offer. Yeah,
Yeah.
when did creative financing become about beating out other
Cash on.
offers? Yeah, we're not trying to win highest and best situations, idiot. Like we're not doing that. Walk on to the next deal. Walk away. Right. A lot of times these agents are bluffing, and then also too, if it comes down to it was this is a specific scenario that happened actually recently. A guy hits me up, kind of panicking, and he's like, "Hey, I got to submit an offer. I can't get a hold of such and such." He said, "You'd be able to help me out." So I help him out, and he has a scenario where the agent, not even the listing agent, I happen to know who the listing agent was on that deal, so it was easy to find out she wasn't the agent, but she was the buyer agent, so she was removed from the situation. She's probably getting this urgency prompt about a cash offer after it's been on the market for 151 days. All of a sudden, you got a cash offer that competes with a full price,
Yeah.
offer. Granted, it's creative, but now the question is like, we need to submit a deal or submit an offer. What else do you need to know other than it's full price, right? If you're not going to go with the cash offer, this is creative and it's full price. That's all you really need to know until you decide either you're going with that one or you're going to go with us. Then we'll figure out the terms, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just don't run to somebody else and bother them trying to put together a puzzle without all the pieces. Get the info from the seller,
Yeah.
all of it, or the agent, whoever you're dealing with. It's the answers come from them.
No, that makes total sense because I think the same thing Drew mentioned. We've gotten that multiple times. People will submit a stuff. Oh, it's a creative deal. Okay, is it on the contract? No, and they want us to raise capital for it. Do you guys know what the current mortgage payment is or what that? All those stuff? No,
Don't even know how the deal makes money,
that's it.
right?
I have so much things are missing. Like we're like, guys, just get all these info, run your numbers first before even raising capital. It
Yes.
doesn't even make sense to raise capital if you don't have that deal on the contract.
100%.
It's like a little a waste of time.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, huge waste of time.
How do you determine your exit strategy when you're in there looking at all the information that you have, that you got from the seller? How do you do that?
That's actually a good question too. Um, it the way you determine it's kind of it works in conjunction with the situation, right? Again, everything comes from the seller. There's no way you can find out how to structure a deal or how to figure out an exit unless you've negotiated with the seller or did a proper discovery call with the seller to find out all the pieces of the puzzle. Those pieces of the puzzle allow you to find out which the highest and best use of the property, right? Along with what your goal is, like your current financial makeup, whether you need capital or you want to do some passive, you want to go for the passive income play. So all that plays into it too. So it's really, and this is actually super important. This is why you know, I'll say most people aren't buyers, right? But this is what stops them from being a buyer, right? Is they haven't given themselves permission to make up their own mind on what a good deal is. It's
Mm,
very subjective. It's not what I say a good deal is. It's not what some guru says a good deal is. That's just for me. That's just for them. Everybody's different,
yeah.
and you're only limited to your own creativity in your head. If the deal makes sense to you, roll with it. You gotta have that. Give yourself that permission. You gotta have that confidence.
Which I think their question is gonna be like, like, what does a good deal look like?
Yeah.
Even
What's a good
like even if they're new, a lot of persons don't even know if that deal is a good deal or not.
Yeah. So there's that. That's the very first level right there. So they don't have some people new, right? Don't have the typical like standard markers on what the community is saying a good deal is, right? Um as a in the agent world, you hear 10 to 12% return, right? On like a rental or something like that. That's cute and all, right? If you're a wholesaler, don't bring that over here, right? And which some wholesalers have tried to and will like straight up, argue with you on how it's a good deal. All right, well then you buy it if it's a good deal, right? The
Oh
thing
my
is,
gosh, yeah, I've gotten
it's
into
not
arguments with wholesalers like that.
100, right? Yeah, they get their little egos hurt because they locked up a silly ass deal that should be on the market. That's the thing. That's a market deal. Ain't no good deal for somebody out here who's in the trenches, getting it. The deal I sent you is 25%. At least these deals are like at least 25% cash on cash return. And
That
that's
was
another thing.
good equity in it already. So
Already had good equity in it ready, which is just like icing on the cake, honestly. Because for what we do with the creative stuff, shoot, I'll take it with no equity. That's fine. I'll take it a little bit over, especially with the specialized exits like pad split. Makes it perfect. The profitability on that thing, oh my god! And everyone else is weeded out. Most people are weeded out who are not going this route. You
yeah.
know, so
Is there a deal that you've structured before with private money? So let's say you have a deal and you're like, I'll offer 10%, but a lender comes in, they're like, no, I want something else. How did you restructure that deal to make it work?
yeah, well, first and foremost, everything is a negotiation. Everything, whether they say it or not, right, or admit it or not, it's always a negotiation. If they're not willing to negotiate right there on the spot, what does Pace always say? Best negotiating tool is father time,
Yeah.
right? Just let some time go by. When that deal is slipping through their finger cracks, they're going to negotiate. They're going to be more reasonable, right?
Mhm.
So in the Marine Corps, I'm a former Marine. We have this saying, "Semper Gumby," which is always flexible, right? So you got to be flexible. You can't be rigid. And just like with you, I always tell you, I put a certain, what I'm looking for, what I'm willing to do. And honestly, I just started doing that because I used to keep it open. But the thing is, it's almost as bad as like if you're in a relationship asking that other person, "What do you want to eat?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my
Crazy
gosh,
question.
yeah.
Yeah, right. What do you
Everything.
want to eat? Yeah. So they don't know, they're like, yeah, they don't even know what's available, right? What's out there, what's in the area. So you got to put something just like a baseline. If you know what, generally speaking, what people are going after, for, because there's different avatars of lenders and stuff, right? So if you know, like for this deal you need, typically this is gonna draw the attention of this certain type of avatar, then put those those rates in there or whatever. Uh, and don't be afraid to say you're open. At the end of the day, if they get too, they try to gouge you or they get too greedy, it's a give and take. They're just trying, they're
Yeah.
asking. It's just a question. Yeah, just work
You
with
can always
them.
say no.
Yeah. No.
No. Yeah.
Or
Doesn't
else like,
work. Yeah.
that's it. Like I'll
So
think about it.
it was something that we were actually talking about this past Monday, which should be a few when this gets posted, it'll be a few weeks back. But when we were talking about what educating private money lenders and how everything can be negotiated. You just have to be open and talk about it.
Yeah. If they
100%.
present something and you don't like it, just say this doesn't work for my deal. I'll present you with something else. It's as simple as that. Like
Yeah.
don't be so desperate that you need the money and agree to terms that doesn't make any sense.
Yes, and also don't be so greedy that you want to take all the profits on that deal because it does take a lot of work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
100%. Yeah. Greed is a killer of all deals, and we all get affected by greed a
Yeah.
little bit. If you think you don't, that's when you'll fall victim to it the most,
Have
comes
you
in some type of form.
have you ever structured a deal, Drew, and you maybe like way after you're like, damn, I gave away too much interest, or damn, I gave away too much equity.
Nope, because I did what I had to do at the time, So I have a deal right now where I made. So again, we talked about exit strategy. So Semper Gumby applies to this,
Mhm.
right? You go in with a wrap idea of a wrap, right? And especially if you know you're being a little bit unreasonable, try to see if you can get it, like a high down payment. The condition's not that great, and you're gouging them on the interest and the overall purchase price. Probably not gonna get that deal,
Yeah.
right? But you will get people coming to the table with making offers, right? So you can be flexible on the requirements you need. Sometimes you can't. You can only be so flexible because you got into that deal, a little bit too high,
Yeah.
right? Or if you're prepared to leave money into the deal, that's fine. And that's another thing. give yourself permission to say that's okay. If you want to leave money into the deal,
Yeah.
it still can be a good deal, right? Not all these deals are no money down, and all this stuff. That's chill,
Free house.
for real. So uh getting back to like the original question, be flexible, right? So, or no, you said, have I regretted it, right?
Yeah.
Who got time for regret? I ain't got time for that shit. You know,
You're
if I
getting.
if I if I have time to regret a deal,
Yeah.
that means I'm not doing enough. I don't have another deal, another 7 deals on my plate. I got mad deals to underwrite right now that I got to get to. All right. So, um, no, I don't really have time for that because, like I said, I did the best I had to take that at the time with the information I had and the timeline I had allotted to take that deal down. We get it done, right? The momentum from flying through these deals and closing deals left and right. That's our protection. That's what's gonna pad for the cushion of impact, right? When a deal goes south, right? And also too, so to speak on that one deal, I'm not making any money in the middle. So I wanted it to be a wrap. It's in Winter Park, Florida. I wanted it to be a wrap. I was going for a crazy high, $100,000 down payment. I got some 60s. I got stuff that were high, but we were into it for too much, and I would have to leave some money in the game in the deal that I didn't have. So I needed to get a lender out of there. So what I ended up doing, getting a lender to refi, a private, refinance, and then also setting up a lease option scenario. So, or rent to own scenario with 15K down. So I got 15K down up front, and then the market rent on that deal was 2,400. We got 3,000. So it was a nice little, and there's a big payday at the end of it, right? If he's successful, right?
Yeah.
Um, which we'll see.
Let's
Because
go to that whole, we call it spider web, because some person be like, huh?
Yeah,
yeah,
Let's like
open it up.
dissect it a little bit. So you were all into the deal 100K.
No, not 100K. But we wanted to make money. So we had that particular deal brought in a JV partner. It was going to be an Airbnb. Brought in a JV partner that was going to bring money to the table, and then also Airbnb knowledge. I understand Airbnb. I like, I can negotiate it all day, set it up, know how to, project the numbers. Good with all that. I just don't like, first of all, I don't like Airbnb platform. I got a beef with them. And then also too, I don't like, I'm not into that cute stuff, like
that's
decorating.
Kalisha's forte. That's her forte.
I love
Not mine. Yeah, not
it.
mine at all. So now that's why I love Pass Split so much. It's not like that, Pass Split is like,
Mattress.
it is what it is. Let's get it done.
Mattress
I don't need to be
desk.
cute. Yeah, 100%.
So we'll say roughly around your entry for that entire deal was maybe, let's say,
I was about
120.
60. Yeah. So the guy he brought in, we borrowed 60.
Mhm.
Actually, I think we borrowed. You know what? You know how we like to get paid up front. So we went for, I believe we got 80 when we borrowed the money. We needed another round of funding for the renovations and all that stuff, right? This was just temporary funding to get us in the deal.
Okay.
Another thing too, right? Sometimes you can't figure shit all the way out, from start to finish.
Oh yeah.
Um, Sometimes you
Yeah.
can't see all the lights being green, but are you going to focus on probability of that deal not working or the possibility that deal is going to work? Like which one? Which one are you focusing on? I like to focus on possibility, not to sound like a reckless, person. But it's like I said, momentum with other deals you got going on helps. What opportunity helps open up new doors with opportunity. So everything works out too. Everything always works out,
That was like a
right?
golden nugget right there.
You're like,
Definitely.
so you're
Just,
you're 80 plus something.
it's about, yeah. I think maybe with the money owed back, it would have probably came out to 80. This was like last year or a year and a half ago when this deal happened. But it so what we ended up doing, so yeah, so I needed, so that now that we're not going to go pads or not pads with Airbnb, because my partner, it was on him, JB
Mhm.
partner for this deal to get the money, right?
Okay.
So that was the whole value. So now that that wasn't going to work, we had to pivot. So he was out of the deal at that point. So now I have this money I got to get refied out, get the money refied out, start marketing the deal as a wrap. That's why the entry was so high.
Mhm.
Um, Not an ideal situation. That also leads to the reason why most people don't finish their wraps or sell wraps, because being greedy and unrealistic,
Yeah.
right? I wasn't trying to be greedy. It's just a little unrealistic, given the climate of the market, right?
Mhm.
And the price points and all that stuff. So you got to keep that in condition. You got to keep that in mind. These rap buyers ain't stupid. They're not dumb. People think that they care about home ownership so much, like they're gonna overpay and go crazy. That's not. In my case, that hasn't been the case that I've seen. Right? They ain't gonna pay. They're not gonna pay for a piece of crap. Um, these high. They're not gonna get gouged in all the levers. Right? For a piece of crap,
Man, but
they've done whatever they've done to accumulate that size down payment. They're not that stupid. So chill and make it a little bit more reasonable and work with them. You can sell those wraps fast as hell, right? But for this particular deal, yeah, we were stuck there, tried it. But what it did open up though is an opportunity to pivot, use this as a distraction. This 100,000 down payment on a $500,000 purchase price on a property that probably fixed up would be 450 ish on a good day, maybe, right? um, that allowed us to pivot to a lease option at a higher rental rate for 3,000.
mm,
Right now, I did get gouged on that lending opportunity. However, I was hard up. I needed time was ticking. I needed to get things moving. So, what did the lender do to me? Lender took advantage. Not took not in a negative sense. Took advantage. This is look. The cars were laid out. The tracks were laid right. So I was like, bro, bend me over, take it, whatever you want. Just let's get the deal done. I even told him those words because he kept asking me, well, what do you want? What do you want for the deal? I'm like, bro, I just need to get the deal done, right? Just let's go. Because at the end of the day, I could say no instead of dancing, doing that dance back and forth, trying to negotiate. I understand. I got really no leg to stand on. If I want to make good with the private lender, if I want to make good with the seller, keep my obligations and promises, I got to do the deal. So, bro, you got me. What do you want to do? Right? He gouged me. I don't pay. Everything is pretty much flush. So, $3,000 a month. I got to hover over that. Make sure the underlying loan is paid. Make sure the private lender is paid off each month, whether the tenant pays or not. Which thankfully he's been paying, and then ride it out. So there's no regret. Got the deal done. Moved on to the next deal, and I got a story to tell. Right?
ooh, ooh, ooh. I kind of like that is that's where you get like so creative right there. And
Mhm.
as you said, just to rephrase everything that you said is you don't have to have the entire game plan laid out. And as you said, you have to pivot. And thank God that private money lender came in. So you're able to meet your first private money lender obligation.
Yeah.
That didn't go exactly according to plan, but for you, you wanted to perform. In some
Yeah.
ways, you just want to perform, keep your credibility on the line, your reputation, all that stuff. Because if you perform, that lender will not be comfortable lending you on a novelty. And that's
Yeah.
what a lot
Yeah.
of people miss out on.
Yeah. Lenders always have to get their money back.
Yeah,
Right? If you got to go rob Peter and pay Paul, hey, you got to do it.
you got it.
Keep it on the low and do it.
You have
So, and it helps. Like I said, people make mistakes all the time, but it's the momentum that gets you through it. There's no time for regret and all that because people got to get paid. They want their money. So,
And you got that cash flow.
mm well, the thing is, so the cash flow is flushed on that deal, but I got the money up front, so I was able to pay my team, pay myself. Then we have money on the back end.
what do you mean cash flow is flush?
So, yeah, flush with the market rent. Well, not
No,
necessarily.
no, it's kind of breaking
There's no
even.
cash flow. Yeah, yeah. No
Oh,
cash flow at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, flush is more of a construction term.
Yeah.
Ah, see?
You know when
I
two
thought it was a
ends
cool
meet
term.
and they're like
Yeah,
meeting?
flush. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, what is he talking about when cash flow is
Nah.
flush? I was like, I have no clue what that means. See, you
Yeah.
learn something new every day.
Felicia
Yeah.
creative, fix and flips.
They probably don't say that in Jamaica. What do they say in Jamaica?
No, squash.
Squash. There we go. Yeah, man. It's squash. The
Just
deal's squash. Yeah.
but
But
no.
yeah.
Before we wrap up, what advice or tips would you give to someone who's completely new to this and looking to raise private money, or even if they have done it before, what approach they should take when raising private capital for their deals?
Um, so just to before I answer that, I want to clean up that last statement because not it's not going to hit right with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Some people it goes to your risk tolerance too, like that. I'm not playing to lose. I'm not playing not to lose, right? I'm at a point in my life I'm playing to win. I mean, this is it, right? So my mindset is different, right? So some people, I don't want people to get the wrong impression and of recklessness, right? When I say you don't have to have it all figured out.
Mhm.
However, you can set up checkpoints in a deal, right? Through the life of a deal, as far as you can see it, right? Now you have the option to say, "Oh, I can't see all the way down to the tunnel. You know, I don't know what's on that side. I'm not going that route. I'm too scared, or whatever. It's not
Too
safe enough
risky.
for." Yeah. So I'm like, so I just wanted that to be clear that that doesn't have to be for everybody, and that's not the only way you can win because there's always another deal, right? Um, I just like to make whenever I touch something, make some type of money happen, whether it's partnering with the seller to get the deal done or wrap his deal and take some of the down payment. I'm doing something to monetize that opportunity, right? So to answer the question, advice when raising money, right? At this point, this is a person who's an operator, right? Who is out here operating. Now, if you're trying to raise money and you've been just doing wholesaling and stuff and you don't know what it is to be a buyer, right? Because if you are just doing wholesale, you really don't know what it is to be a buyer because you're not a buyer, right? So learn how to be a buyer, right? Learn how to deal makes money. Partner with somebody who has the credibility. But other than that, though, you could show some type of credibility and professionalism, like in your craft as an operator, even if you've never operated,
Mhm.
if you do the homework, right? Do the homework and present the homework properly, to you guys, or somebody who's going to raise the money or to the person you're trying to get the money from. Give them all the stuff they need to say yes. Like if you can sit in their shoes and understand what they might be looking at, how their money's protected, like what stories behind the deal too. The stories help too. Like some of these lenders want to be operators but can't, right? They have a job to
Mhm.
do, that they might love or whatever, but maybe they do want to get in the game, but they want to be a part of something too. A lot of people want to be a part of something. So if you can, kind of, I don't want to say, for lack of a better term, dramatize the story,
Yeah.
but you don't want to, like, not lying about the story, but tell the story about how you're helping the seller and what you're planning on doing with the exit, how that's going to contribute to whatever. And maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but put it out there. Don't be afraid to do the homework if you want to more certainty that that deal is going to get done
Mhm.
or funded.
Oh, the story. That is my
Yeah,
that's my biggest takeaway from this one. It's the story. We always forget about telling a story. So
I
that's
got story, I got mentality, I got relationships.
we got
all that.
creativity.
We got flushed,
We got
squash.
flush. We got a bunch of stuff. But Betsy, is there anything else that you want to add to Drew before we wrap up, or you can?
I'm good. Thanks, Drew, for coming on here. I like you. I like your mentality. All these, like, to be
Oh,
honest, if people paid attention to this, you gave some really like key points to be successful. Um,
appreciate it.
This was good.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate
For,
it.
we're happy that you said yes.
I know.
We'll let you know
Always.
when this episode goes live. I think as Betsy said, a couple weeks from now. But thank you,
You guys
everyone.
gonna make me famous?
Huh?
You guys gonna make me famous?
Oh, it's gonna make you so famous. Just don't forget about us.
Yes. Don't
Never.
forget
I
about
need you guys to raise the money. I can't forget about you.
Like, don't forget about us. But thank you everyone for watching, for listening. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Just let us know your feedback. Like this video, let us know what you think. Comment. Don't forget to subscribe.
and to hit the little notification button. I know that some of you guys didn't get the notification for the live. Just make sure you hit that bell button to get notified if you
All
want.
right.
Boom.
You don't have to.
Mhm.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.